Long ago, in a quiet corner of England, nestled between rolling green hills and winding streams, there stood a village of stone cottages, old oak trees, and church bells that
Edmund,
tolled at
you must
dawn
pay
and dusk.
attention to your
It
studies.
was in this village that a boy
Father,
named Edmund grew up.
I long for
Edmund was
affection.
clever. He grasped his lessons quickly, his memory was sharp, and his curiosity endless. But he had one flaw that seemed to undo all his strengths. His mind wandered like the restless winds across the
Welcome,
moors.
friends.
When he sat with his
Thank you
books,
for having
he
us,
thought of the
Master
meadow.
Alaric.
When he tried to
The
work,
garden is
he
beautiful.
dreamed of games. His attention scattered like autumn leaves, and the more he chased after focus, the further it seemed to slip away. His father often warned him, "Edmund, your mind is like a wild horse. If you cannot hold its reins, it will drag you into the thorns. But if you can discipline it, it will carry you to any place you dream of." Edmund listened but laughed it off. He thought discipline was for soldiers, not for boys. But his father knew better. One morning, he took Edmund to the stone-walled garden of Master Alaric, the village teacher. Alaric was not only a scholar but also a man known for shaping the minds of the young. The teacher welcomed Edmund, and after listening carefully to the father's concerns, walked into his garden. He returned with a
Oh
small
dear.
glass of water filled to the very brim. "Walk around this garden," Alaric said gently, "but do not spill even a single drop." Edmund smiled at the simplicity of the task. But as he walked, the church bell rang, birds cawed from the tower,
Do you
the wind
understand
rattled the
now why
branches,
water cannot
and
be
children's
filled beyond
laughter
its
echoed
natural
from the
limit?
street beyond. Edmund turned his head to every sound. With each glance, the water spilled.
Observe the delicate
By the time he
balance of life,
returned,
Edmund.
half the glass was gone. "Why did you spill so much?" asked
The world
Alaric.
is much
"I was
larger than these
distracted,"
hills,
Edmund admitted. The teacher looked at him with steady eyes. "This glass is your purpose, the water is your focus, and the sounds around you, the bells, the birds, the laughter, are the noise of the world. If you do not discipline your mind, everything will slip away before you even notice." Those words pierced Edmund's heart. He understood at last that the greatest battle is not fought with swords or shields, but within one's own mind. From that day forward, he began to change. At first, it was small things. He rose each morning with the bells, no matter how he longed to stay in bed. He put away his wooden toys before study. He limited his time wandering the lanes, forcing himself to give full attention to his lessons. Each morning, he sat for a few minutes in silence, breathing slowly, teaching his thoughts to return to stillness whenever they strayed. At first, his mind resisted, darting to memories, to dreams, to worries. But day after day, he pulled it back, just as one would tug the reins of a wild horse. Weeks passed, then months. Slowly, Edmund noticed change. His memory grew sharper. He could finish tasks without wandering. His teachers praised him. His father's eyes shone with pride. But the world is always ready to test those who strive. A year later, news spread of a great competition in London. The brightest students of the kingdom were to gather and solve difficult problems under strict time. It was said the test would not only measure knowledge, but the steadiness of one's mind. Edmund entered. The grand hall in London buzzed with anxious energy. Papers shuffled, pens scratched. Some students rushed ahead only to stumble in confusion. Others froze in fear, overwhelmed by the ticking of the clock. But Edmund sat calm. He remembered the glass of water. Each question was like a drop. Each page was like the careful walk through the garden. He did
Good luck,
not hurry.
everyone.
He did not panic. He gave himself wholly to one problem, then the next. When the results were read aloud, Edmund's name rang at the top. Applause filled the hall. His father embraced him, and Master Alaric, though far away, heard the news and smiled in quiet satisfaction. Edmund had proven a truth older than the village itself. A disciplined mind is greater than talent, greater than luck, and even greater than intelligence. The lesson: the world will always be filled with noise. There will always be bells that ring, voices that call, temptations that sparkle. You cannot silence them all, but you can learn to discipline your mind. Discipline is not about denying joy.
Oh
It is about giving your full energy to what truly matters. A person with brilliance but no discipline will waste his gifts. But an ordinary person with focus can achieve extraordinary things. Edmund's story is not about winning a competition. It is about winning the inner battle, proving that mastery over the mind is the foundation of every other success. So let me ask you, what is the glass of water in your life? What purpose will slip away if you allow every noise to steal your focus? If this story touched you, do not let the spark fade. Share it with someone who needs encouragement. Write in the comments what distraction you will overcome starting today. And subscribe, so that together we may walk this path of strength and wisdom. Remember, your next chapter does not begin tomorrow. It begins the very